Hi everybody, I am Dorit from Build a Better You Yoga. I'm here today to spend a short while with you developing glute strength. So we want to work our glutes, not just so that they look good. It's really important for the glutes to carry literally the weight that they're supposed to carry so that your lower back doesn't take over. And just for the health of the whole lower body, you want to make sure that your glutes are engaged and just playing their part in carrying you in all your functional movements. So let's get right to it, shall we? Short practice. We're going to start on hands and knees. So come to all fours. Make sure that your knees are directly underneath your hip bones. And then bring your hands or your wrists right underneath your shoulders. Lengthen the spine, engage your core, and retract your shoulders away from the ears. So even here, we might be working this way with our shoulders glued to our ears. So just pull your shoulders away from the ears. Good. Curl your left toes into the mat and take your right leg back, hip height. So you're pressing your heel away from you, engaging your core, making sure your shoulders stay away from the ears. Now, lift the leg just a little bit more, squeeze the glute. Inhale, look forward. And as you exhale, bring the knee in towards the chest, round. And we'll just do 3 more. Press your heel away from you. Retract your shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, rounding. Bring the knee as far forward as you can. 2 more. Relax the shoulders here. Flex the foot. Exhaling, rounding. And as you inhale, you look forward. And as you exhale, round. Now bring the right leg back where we started, hip height. Do a little check-in. Look at your left hip and notice if your left hip is jutting off to the side. Bring yourself into the center. This will force you to use your core a little more, because why not? Bend your knee, please, so that the foot is pressing up towards the ceiling. Right sole of the foot pressing up towards the ceiling. Now, without dipping the knee down towards the floor, I want you to give me about 10 pumps here. So nice and slow, pressing the heel towards the ceiling. Feel that right glute engage. Keep your shoulders away from the ears. Keep your gaze down towards the floor to keep the whole spine nice and long. Let's do another 3 or 4 just because it feels good. Feel that right glute working. And then slowly bring the knee back down. So before we do the other side, let's do a couple of hip circles. Just release any tension in the hips, glutes, etc. So naturally you will be doing circles in one direction, stop and go in the opposite direction, just for 2 or 3. Bring a little fluidity into the hips. If you hear any cracking, that might be my knees, that's okay. Alrighty, and then we meet back on all fours. This time you're going to curl the right toes into the mat and take your left leg to the back of the mat. Up and off the floor, hip height. Before we start, make sure that your left toes and your left knee, everything's pointing down towards the floor. This is called squaring off our hips. So as we inhale, we're going to lift that leg a little more. Press your heel a little more towards the back of the room. And as you exhale, round, bring the knee in towards the chest, chin to chest. And let's do 3 more. Inhaling, looking forward. Flex your foot. Feel that glute engage right there. Exhale, round. And 2 more. Inhaling, looking forward. Shoulders away from your ears. Exhale, rounding. Last one. Flex the foot. Press your heel away from you. And exhale, rounding. Let's meet back with the left leg towards the back of the mat. Check in with your right hip. Make sure you're not jutting over towards the right side. Center yourself in the middle of the mat. Bend the left knee to 90 degrees. Press your heel towards the ceiling. This time, remember, you're not lowering the upper thigh towards the floor. You're just giving me some nice little, about 10, 15 little pumps here. Keep going. Feel that left glute engage. Squeeze your navel in towards your spine as you're doing this work and really feel the heat in that glute max, the big muscle in that left glute here. Let's do just 3, 4 more. Feeling it, and then bringing the knee back down. Good. Now let's send the right leg back. We're going to give each of the hips a little stretch. As you send your right leg back, bring the left knee underneath you. This is called a pigeon pose. You just want this left hip to sort of fall towards the floor. Keep yourself light on your fingertips here and take a few breaths. Scoop your navel in so the belly button comes in and up, protecting your lower back. You're just getting a nice stretch on this left hip here. As the hip falls towards the ground, your right foot is pressed back towards the back of the room. Top of the foot on the floor. Let's walk ourselves all the way back. Slowly, the left leg makes its way to the back of the room. Slide it as far back as it'll go. Walk yourself back as far as you can, making sure you don't feel any crunching in your lower spine. Let your hip, right hip, settle towards the floor. Very light in the fingertips here. You don't want to dump all your weight into the floor. You want to use your core here to maintain a nice straight back as you stretch that right hip. Good, just another breath here. Allowing the right hip to just soften, settle towards the floor. And then let's come back on all fours. Good. Knees are hip width apart. I will demonstrate with the leg that's closest to you so that I'm using my left leg. Start with your right leg. Knee opens to the side, flexing the foot just like this. Inhale, open. And exhale, come back down. Let's do about 3 or 4 more. When your knee comes back down to the floor, I don't actually want it to rest on the floor. You're just hovering above the mat. And let's do 3 more. Inhaling, opening. Exhaling, coming back down. Next time you open, go out of your way to engage that glute. Flex the foot. Exhaling, coming back down. 2 more, please. Inhale, open. Really engaging your glute. Bring it back down. Both hands nice and strong. Firm foundation here. Last one. Bringing it all the way back down. Good. Let's do the same thing now with your left leg. You'll open the leg to one side, flexing the foot, and bringing it back down. The knee is hovering. Left leg, opening, the knees at 90 degrees, flex the foot, bring it back down. 3 more, please. Opening, and exhaling, coming back down. Remember to marry the breath to each movement. Inhale up, 2 more. Exhale, back down. Keep the focus in the glutes, lift, squeeze your glute muscle, and exhale, back down. Good. Let's sit back into a little child's pose. Your hips have fallen towards the back of the room. Please don't worry about whether your hips or your glutes are touching your heels. That's not important. What I'm looking for, wherever you are, let your hips go side to side. So you're just kind of stretching the outer hip, the outer glute muscles. Just let your hip fall over to one side and then the other side. Okay? Good. And then slowly, let's make our way onto the back. So the last couple of postures we'll do supine on our back. Lying on the back and hugging our knees into the chest first. Make sure your back is happy, rolling side to side if it feels good. And then planting the feet firmly on the floor. Good. Arms are next to you, palms are down and towards the earth. Reach your fingertips towards your heels. This is to take the shoulders away from the ears. So reach the fingers as far as you can towards your heels. It's not important at all that you touch your heels, just reach towards the heels. Bring the feet as close as you can to your glutes and press your right foot up towards the ceiling. So for some people, this is going to feel really good, pointing and flexing, creating space in your hamstring here. If you have trouble bringing your leg all the way above your hip, it's no big deal. You can also do this particular practice with your knee above your hip. So this right leg is in a tabletop. Knee above the hip and the right leg pressed away from you, okay? Otherwise, we extend the right foot up towards the ceiling. So as we inhale, you're gonna push into that left foot, take both hips up and off the floor, press your heel up towards the ceiling. Lift and breathe in, and slowly bring your back and your hips back down as you exhale. And we'll do about 3 more. Reach your hands towards your heels. Inhale, press your hips up towards the sky, and slowly bringing it back down. The slower you work, the more of an isometric contraction you're gonna feel. Feel that left glute taking all the weight and lifting it up towards the sky. Let's do one more. Push into that whole left foot, not just your toes, not just your heels. Push your right leg up towards the ceiling and make your way back down slowly. Good. Bring the right foot back down to the floor. Take the left foot up towards the ceiling. If it feels good, flex and point. If for any reason, you can always start here with your leg pressing up towards the ceiling. If this becomes uncomfortable to hold or to maintain, just bend the knee and keep your knee above your hips the entire time as we do this, okay? If your leg is pressing up towards the ceiling, sole of the foot pressing up towards the ceiling, keep your toes pointed in towards you. On the next inhale, palms press into the earth, breathe in, push into your right foot, lift. And exhale, make your way down nice and slowly. The slower we work, the more we're forcing that muscle to work. Inhaling, lifting up. We'll do 3 more. Come up as high as you can. Exhale, make your way all the way back down nice and slow. 2 more, please. As you inhale, palms press into the earth. Right foot lifting you up high. Good. Let's do 1 more. Inhaling, lifting. And exhaling, coming back down. Good. Bring your feet back down into the floor. Let's come into a butterfly pose. Reach between the knees and grab onto your shins or your ankles, anything that feels good. Your hands might even be just on the insides of your knees. So anywhere that feels good to you, bring the feet in as close as you can towards your center and let the knees open up. So just a big opening here in the hip flexors. Feel your low back settling. Feel the sacrum, that big flat bone just above the tailbone, nice and flat in the earth. Nice and supported here. Relax your shoulders. Take a big breath in towards your belly. And as you exhale, feel your whole low back settle into the earth. Let's take 1 more breath just like that. If you can, breathe in through your nose. Exhale through the nose if you're comfortable. If not, exhale through your mouth. Let it all go. Good. Let's place the feet back down on the earth. So I'd like the feet and the knees to be hip width apart here. Bring your palms next to your hips 1 more time. Palms down and towards the earth. Walk the feet in as close to the glutes as you can. On the next inhale, this is a full bridge, lifting up as high as we can. As I reach that height, if accessible to you, interlace your fingers underneath you. Walk your shoulders in towards each other. So you're squeezing a shoulder, this imaginary pencil in between your shoulder blades. See if there is room to walk your feet even closer in towards your glutes. The answer might be no. If you've walked them in a little closer, press your hips up towards the sky. And now really engage your glutes here. So squeeze both your glutes. Press the hands towards the heels. Use your whole foot on each side. You want to use the heels and the toes, the front toe mounds, both sides of your heel, inner and outer, pressing up as high as you can. Let's keep the attention in the glutes here. So it's your glutes that are keeping you lifted. Come up as high as you can. Take another big breath in towards your belly. And as you exhale, release, come all the way back down. Very nice. Bring the legs in towards you and hug behind your upper thighs. Press the feet up towards the ceiling. Point and flex for a little length behind the legs here, giving the hamstrings a bit of a stretch. Good. Bring the feet back down to the floor. Take your hands about 45 degrees away from you. As you inhale, let your knees point up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, drop both knees to the right. A little bit of a hip stretch, outer glute here. When you inhale, you'll bring your knees back into the center. Feel free to please do this at your own pace. As you exhale, drop the knees over to the left. Coming all the way back into center, we'll do 1 more to each side. Exhale, drop the knees to the right. They don't have to touch the floor by any means. Wherever you are is good. Inhale back to center, take your time. Exhale, dropping the knees to the left. Now roll your whole body over towards the left side. Please use your hands to help you. Let's meet back in a seated position. So we'll just meet back. If you're comfortable, you can come to easy pose, which we call Sukhasana. It is not easy for everyone. If this is not comfortable for you, feel free to just sit with your arms in front of you. You could be holding your knees just like so. You can extend your legs out in front of you in what we call staff pose. Any posture that is comfortable for you. So we're just going to take a moment here and reconnect to the root of our seated posture, which is our sit bones. As you lengthen your spine, I just want you to imagine the crown of your head pulling up towards the sky here. So get nice and tall. Relax your shoulders, give them a little shrug, take them away from the ears. Open the front body a little bit by squeezing your shoulder blades slightly in towards each other. I want you to feel like your collarbones are kind of spreading wide here. Let your hands just relax on your knees. And for the next 3 breaths, as we inhale, we're going to see the energy going up to the crown of our head. Our spine will lengthen, we'll get nice and tall. And as you exhale, maintain the length in your spine. Just see the energy going down towards the root, which in this case is your sit bones. So just feel yourself firmly grounded here, solid in the floor. 2 more breaths just like that. As you inhale, see the energy going up to the crown of your head. The heart lifts just a little bit. You get a bit taller. Maintain the space that you have just created. Lengthen the spine. Exhale. Feel the energy going through the heart space, through your core, all the way down to the sit bones. And 1 more breath just like that. Inhaling in your mind's eye, seeing the energy rising. And as you exhale, see the energy just firmly pressing you into the earth. Feel yourself grounded and rooted in this present moment. I thank you so much for having chosen to spend this time with me and chosen to strengthen the glutes today. Hope you'll join me for another practice very, very soon. Pleasure to have you with me. Namaste.